You ever move somewhere thinking it'll be peaceful, and then bam, your new neighbors act like they run the entire world? Yeah, that's what happened to me. I had just moved into the cabin I started building on land. My uncle left me dreaming of quiet mornings by the lake when she showed up, Victoria Ashworth, president of the HOA, and she brought a cop. I hadn't even finished the porch. So there I am, still unpacking my tools, when this woman in a red power suit pulls up like she owns the place. And she's not alone. She brought a police officer. She doesn't say hi, doesn't ask how I'm doing. She points at my cabin and goes, "You're in violation of HOA building codes and you have 24 hours to vacate the lakefront access, or we fine you $10,000 a day." I said, "Ma'am, I own this land." She pulls out a folder, waves some papers around, and starts talking about subdivision rights and exclusive HOA control over the lakefront. I looked at the officer. Even he looked confused. I didn't argue, I just smiled and said, "Okay, I'll look into it." Because, see, I already had a feeling something wasn't right. A few days later, I drove to the county records office. I had this itch. Something about how she kept saying the HOA owns this didn't sit right with me. My uncle had passed a few months earlier, and he left me the entire 5-acre property, along with his old cabin plans and some dusty legal files I hadn't even opened yet. Turns out, my uncle didn't just own my land. He owned the land lease for the entire subdivision, all of it. Every house, every driveway, every dock, including the one Victoria thought she was bossing me off of, sat on land leased from a company. That company was owned by my uncle's holding trust, which means it's mine now. I went back the next weekend. Victoria was standing near the lake again, clipboard in hand, like a hawk on a fence post. I walked right up to her and said, "Victoria, I've reviewed the HOA bylaws, and turns out they don't apply to me, or anyone else, really, because I now control the land under all of this." She laughed. Thought I was bluffing. So I handed her the lease agreements and the trust documents. She went pale. Then I told her, "This HOA, it's not even legally filed with the county. And your dues? Yeah, those are fraudulent. The officer from before? He happened to be nearby." I waved him over and gave him a copy of everything. In the weeks that followed, everything came crashing down for Victoria. Turns out she had been collecting money from homeowners for years without any proper authority. The HOA was just a front. Once I notified the residents and showed them the documents, they were furious. Some even threatened legal action, but I wasn't there to punish. Instead, I offered to dissolve the fake HOA entirely and help set up a voluntary community board. No forced fees, no threats, just neighbors looking out for each other. Today, that little lakeside neighborhood is finally peaceful, like I always hoped it would be. Victoria? She moved out. Haven't seen her since. And me? Well, I still wake up every morning with coffee by the water. Only difference is, now I own the view. And the docks, too. So if you believe in standing your ground, if you've ever dealt with people who tried to push you off your own path, or if you just love real stories that speak the truth, then this is the place for you. Hit that subscribe button and join us here at QZ Stories, where every story matters and every voice gets heard. This cabin wasn't just a structure. It was the last remaining piece of Marcus's late uncle's legacy. Built by the lake, tucked between the mountains, this unfinished home was a dream of a new beginning. Every plank, every nail held a story, and a secret that would change the fate of the entire neighborhood. Victoria thought she ruled this land, but she had no idea the real power was hidden in the cabin's documents. Inside this very house, Marcus uncovered the files that flipped the power dynamic and marked the fall of a fake HOA empire. Documents. She went pale. Then I told her, "This HOA, It's not even legally filed with the county. And your dues? Yeah, those are fraudulent. The officer from before? He happened to be nearby. I waved him over and gave him a copy of everything. In the weeks that followed, everything came crashing down for Victoria. Turns out she had been collecting money from